Hello guys, the architect here. Today I'm going to show you how to properly build Diluc. We're going to talk about the weapon, the artifacts, his strengths and weaknesses, and so on. So without further ado, the first thing that you need to know are his weaknesses. Alright, so Diluc is one of the top DPS in the game. He is a DPS. He's not a support, he doesn't have healing skills or anything like that. He is 100% a DPS character. Alright, so you should, if you have him on your team, he is going to be your main DPS. Now, another thing is, as all characters in this game, he has some weaknesses. The most evident is when he attacks with a pyro skill, and you are in a area with grass, you're actually gonna hurt yourself. Not a lot, but you're gonna hurt yourself over time with his own skills. This is pretty much for every pyro character out there. So you gotta keep attention in that. I always recommend having a healer on your team so that you can pretty much heal yourself pretty quickly without using food when you do that. Alright, so keep that in mind. The other thing is that Diluc is pretty much useless against mobs that fly. And unfortunately, as the game is right now, there are not many mobs like that. We only have the robots, the flying robots, but those come to ground level eventually. And we also have the flying birds on the Oceanid boss. So for that, you're gonna need an archer. Alright, so those are his weaknesses. Now let's talk about his strengths. He literally has the highest, or one of the highest damage outputs in the entire game as a Claymore user. This guy deals a lot of damage. So if you want to see high numbers, this is the character for you. Alright, now about his build. Now obviously guys, I'm not gonna expect everyone to have this weapon. This weapon, Wolf Gravestone, is the best weapon you can get for him in the entire game. But I'm not gonna expect everyone to have this. So if you have this, that's great. If you don't, there are a lot of alternatives. Don't worry. The best alternative would be this one, which is actually free to craft. You don't need to spend any money to get this one. So this is a prototype Aminus. If you don't know how to get this one, I made another video. The link is going to be in the description. How to get this weapon for free. It only requires some grind, but you don't need to spend any money to get this. You just grind the materials and craft it. It's very simple. So prototype Aminus is the best weapon you can get in the game if you don't have this for Diluc. And yeah, it has attack percentage bonus, which is pretty cool. It also deals a additional attack to enemies within a small AOE. So this is very useful. It's not as good as this one, obviously, because well, I mean, this is a 5-star weapon and it's specifically designed for Diluc. I mean, just look at it. It even has the same colors and stuff. But if you don't have this, you can still use this, and it's pretty good. I mean, you don't need this. You don't need Wolf Gravestone to make Diluc a good character. Alright, going to artifacts. There's a lot of talk about this, and some people would say that the best artifact in the game or the best set in the game would be this, which the Crimson Witch of Flames set, because it has pyro damage bonus and it also increases overload and burning damage, etc. Now the problem with this set is that Diluc. Well, there's two issues with this set. Diluc, he doesn't make elemental damage. He doesn't deal elemental damage all the time. Sometimes when you're doing normal attacks, you're going to be dealing physical damage. All right. The other issue with it is that he is already weak against pyro mobs, like pyro whopper floppers, or he is completely useless against pyro mages, abyss mages, because you cannot break pyro shields with pyro. So if you actually add this, So the only thing Diluc can do against Pyro and mobs is heat them with his physical attacks. If you add a bonus that adds Pyro element to it, you're making Diluc even weaker against that. So you're taking his weakness and actually making him more dependent, even more dependent on Pyro. So I really don't recommend this set. What I do recommend is getting the Gladiator set, because it increases your overall attack, your base attack by 18%, always. If the wielder of this attack uses a sword, claymore, or polearm, increases the normal attack damage by 35%. So these are permanent. You're going to have this all the time. Even when you deal pyro damage or physical damage, you're always going to have this bonuses. This is very good. I believe this is the best set for Diluc overall. You can go with Crimson Witcher Flames if you want, but again, you're going to be taking his weakness, which is against pyro mobs, and making him even weaker, because you're going to make him even more reliable on elemental damage than he already is. So this is actually more useful against pyro element, because you're going to be increasing his overall damage and also his normal attacks always. So he's going to deal 30% more 35% more additional damage with his normal attacks without relying on his elemental damage. So to me, this is the overall absolute best for Diluc. Now, how do you get this? Unlike the most other sets in the game right now, the only way to get this is through, well, there are two ways. The first one is in your adventure book. You're gonna get pieces of this when you complete challenges. So as you can see over here, you get the flower, then you get the feather, and so on. So you get this from the adventure book. Now, the other way to get this is to complete the ascension bosses, the bosses that drop ascension materials. Now, at first, you're not gonna get 5 stars, but as your adventure rank increases, you're gonna get a lot of these. I mean, and you don't even have to think much about it, because you're gonna get them anyway, because you need this in order to ascend your character. So you literally don't lose anything, because you're gonna need to spam these bosses anyway, and you're gonna get this set over time. Regardless of what you do, as you progress in the game, you're gonna get a bunch of these. As you can see, I got a bunch of feathers. I got a bunch of flowers. I got a couple of hourglasses, also some cups, and a bunch of helmets. So you're gonna use this anyway. And I had even more than this. It's just that I use some of them with terrible stats as materials for the others. Now, which stats do you need for this guy? So the flower is always going to give you HP. The feather is always going to give you attack. All right. Now, I don't recommend focusing too much on secondary stats until you reach level 90. If you get good stats like this, so except defense, but all the other stats are actually very good. I was very lucky with this one. I don't really recommend focusing too much on this. I mean, as long as you get the main stat, it's fine. Once you get to level 90, you can actually do main maxing, refine your character. Alright, but don't focus too much on that. So, you need to make sure that you have 2 attack. Alright, so you're always going to get HP from the flower. You're always going to get attack from the feather. But for the hourglass, the cup, and the hat, you're going to get random stats. So you need to make sure that you have attack and attack. This could be pyro damage as well, that's fine. But once again, you're going to be more reliant on pyro than he already is. So I actually recommend attack. If you want to go pyro in this, it's fine, but I do recommend attack. That's my personal choice. And you can only get crit rate from as the game is right now, you can only get crit rate from the helmet. So there would be HP, attack, because there's no other choice for this too. Then attack, crit rate. Now, why do I recommend crit rate? Because this guy scales with crit rate. Every character scales with a different stat they get a stat bonus, which with their ascensions. So some ascensions will only unlock a talent. For example, this one and this one, they are unlocked at certain ascension levels, and after that, the characters are gonna increase a specific stat. So as you can see over here, once I ascend Diluc again, he's gonna get more crit rate. Other characters get other stuff. For example, Mona is gonna get energy recharge, and so on. So this guy, he has additional crit rate because that's the stat that you get a bonus from. Each character is gonna give you a bonus. A lot of people don't talk about this, but yeah. So this guy is gonna give you a crit rate bonus. So you should focus on trying to get a decent crit rate. If you get 80% crit rate, that's already perfect. All right. So yeah, attack crit rate, and crit rate for the helmet. That's the way you build him up. So you only need 4 pieces of the set, the gladiator set, and then the other piece can be whatever you want as long as it has the stat that you need. So in my case, I have this because it has good main stat and good substat. So attack, crit rate, elemental mastery. Hopefully I'm gonna get another attack stat over here, or crit damage. Alright, so it's not maxed out yet, but you pretty much get the idea. I'm pretty much almost at the end game already with this guy. So I wanted to make a guide for him. Now another thing is you need to work on the talents, and this guy uses the same talent as many other characters in the game. I know that Mona uses the same one, and there's a lot of other talent books that share the same type with the Diluc. So you're gonna have to think about that. So the talent the talent book that this guy requires, it spawns on Tuesdays and Fridays, and also on Sundays it spawns. But the thing with Sundays is that you're gonna be able to get all sorts of books on Sundays, not just this one from a certain domain. So you gotta keep that in mind. So the ideal days to farm this, if you wanna level up Diluc's abilities, it's Tuesdays and Fridays, because you're gonna always get this type of books from the same domain. On Sundays is gonna be a lot of different books from the same domain. You have a chance to get this, but it's not 100% guaranteed. So yeah, guys, that's it for now. If you like this sort of videos, feel free to subscribe. Also, you can join us on Discord. And until next time.